Hey, it's your girl Candice Graham, and I'm so excited that today is my first official YouTube video on my own YouTube channel. I am so blessed and forever grateful that you guys have decided to go on this journey with me. And so I know it's been a long time coming. I've been telling you guys it's coming, but now we're here. Okay, so I'm so excited to release this video on my 1-year anniversary of having my lumpectomy. As a lot of you know, I had a fight against breast cancer, and I am cancer-free right now. So I just had to make this channel to be able to communicate with my friends and family, to educate, to have a good time. So if you are a girl or a boy or a man or a woman, and you are wanting to know about all things beauty and all things health, you are in the right place, because we are going to have us a great time as we learn and grow together, especially during this pandemic. So I've got a lot of things in store for you guys, but just to begin with, I wanted to do a video to kind of introduce myself to you guys. So again, I'm Candice Graham on Instagram. I am CandyGrahams, CandyGrahams. Yes, don't forget the S. That is me on Instagram. Okay, I own Hair Couture Beauty Supply Boutique in Fayetteville, Arkansas, with my mother, Carolyn Brewer. We are so proud to have been in business since 2011 in Fayetteville, Arkansas. We specialize in all things hair. Wigs, hair extensions, braiding hair, and accessories and products, and so much more. And we'll get into more about Hair Couture later. I am married to football coach Nick Graham, and we have 3 children: Jalea, 14, Nicholas, 12, and Jameson, 8. Yes, 3. Very athletic, very full of energy. And if you know Nick and I, they have got a big dose of us in all 3 of them. Okay. I grew up in Fayetteville, Arkansas, playing basketball. My father played basketball in the NBA. My mom played basketball in college. They both played, and they met at the University of Arkansas. And my dad went on to play in the NBA for 6 years, and then he retired and came back to the university, finished school there, and that's how we all ended up in Fayetteville, because he had left college early. And so we grew up in the lovely and beautiful Fayetteville, Arkansas. I have 4 other siblings besides myself. My oldest brother is Kenny, and then my sister Elisha. My brother Stephen, then Elisha, then me, and then baby brother Ronnie. So the closest in age that was inside my family's household was my younger brother Ronnie. We're 3 years apart. And he went on to play for the Razorbacks, the Arkansas Razorbacks. I played basketball for the University of Tulsa. Go Hurricanes. So I'm 3 years older than him. So while he was a freshman, I was a senior at Tulsa, and I loved the University of Tulsa. Along those times, I had a few health things kind of go on. I used to have a beauty mark right here. Some of you guys may call it a mole. I call it a beauty mark. A few other of my cousins have one in the same place. Shout out to Marissa. And it had like it started to look kind of funny, and my doctor told me, hey, that looks like it's starting to grow some legs. We need to get it checked out. And we checked it, and it turned out that it had precancerous cells. So I had that mole removed when I was in high school. I hated to see it go, but it went. And then I had there was a time in high school where I had abnormal cells on my cervix, and I had to have cryo, which is to have them frozen off. And then I had one time in college where I had a normal cells on my cervix and I had to have them lasered off. And of course, every time that you do a procedure like that, doctors normally tell you that, oh, you might have a difficult time getting pregnant or things like that. So for a long time, I didn't think that I was going to be able to have kids. Boop. Met Nick Graham my senior year in college and graduated. I pledged Delta Sigma Theta my senior year. Shout out to my Soros DSC. And we ended up having Jalea. Nick was a junior in college, and then he went on to play in the NFL with the Eagles and the Colts, and then he went on to play in Canada with Saskatchewan and Regina. I think that's the two teams. So anyway, along came Nicholas, and along came Jameson. So obviously, I was able to have children, which was a blessing. Their birthdays are literally 2 weeks apart, even though that there are 2 years in between Nicholas and Jameson and 4 years in between two years between Jalea and Nicholas, and then 4 years in between Nicholas and Jameson. Their birthdays are literally 2 weeks apart. So it's always so fun before Christmas to have 3 birthdays and then we have Christmas. So anywho, let's fast forward a little bit. So here's some fun facts about moi. Although I played college basketball, I majored in sociology, thinking I wanted to be a social worker and save the world one child at a time. My academic advisor said, I think that you should think about whether you want to get your master's in that or not. And I was like, no, I know for sure that that's what I want to do. I knew in junior high school. She said, well, before you get your master's, get experience in that for at least 2 years and then decide. And I said, okay. So I went and I worked in social work and found out within 2 years that I got emotionally attached to the kids. I was spending my own money. It was really emotionally draining for me. And I realized that that was not the journey for me. And I was missing sports. So I decided to get my master's in sports management at Drexel University. I went online, got my master's in that, and thought I was going to go on and coach college women's basketball. And then Nick retired from playing and decided he wanted to coach. So I said, well, who's going to raise these kids? So I said, I will not coach. If I'm going to coach, it'll be like high school or junior high, and you go coach college football. So that's what we decided to do as a team. And while he was finishing his last year, because when he retired, he still had one more year of school that he needed to finish. So while he was doing that, I opened up Hair Couture with my mother in 2011. And it was a great experience to do that. It was hard. It was tough. Nick was having to drive from Fayetteville, Arkansas to Tulsa to go to class, which is an hour and a half away. I was working at the store. I would bring the youngest child with me to the store, and the other one went to daycare, because who can afford to have 2 in there when you have one business owner and one person that's in school. And then he became a GA there at Tulsa. He graduated, became a GA there. And then he got a job in Edmond, Oklahoma at UCO. We moved there. And then we moved to Lake Charles, Louisiana. Okay. So now we're in Lake Charles, Louisiana, and the pandemic begins. Nick had just got a new job. We were only there for 1 season, and he had just got a new job at UTSA in San Antonio. And myself and the kids were still in Lake Charles, and he was in San Antonio. the pandemic happened. They shut down school, March 15th, and we moved to San Antonio, on April 1st. So we're all quarantining. We're trying to get to know each other. We're trying to meet, the staff, the wives, the kids are in the house. They don't get to meet any kids in the neighborhood. It was a tough time trying to adjust, but we were happy because we were all under one household. And we got to spend more time together because as a coach's family, coach's wife and kids and him coaching, it's hard to really get in a lot of quality time. So for me, it was probably the best time for that to happen. And so everybody was navigating through the pandemic. I went home as I normally do in the summer with the kids and Nick. He got to come home for a couple weeks, but while he was there, that's when I found the breast cancer while I was in the shower doing a self-exam. And so I had my whole journey with breast cancer took place basically in Arkansas because we didn't have any doctors here that we knew because we had been quarantining and we didn't have a doctor yet. So I was familiar with a lot of doctors there, and there'll be more videos to go in depth about some of these things into depth, sorry. But I'm just kind of giving you a brief scenario about myself. But yeah, so most of my journey with breast cancer was done out of state, not where I lived. I was in Fayetteville, Arkansas. The blessing is that the kids were going virtually. So they were able to be there with me, with my parents and siblings, and my brother's girlfriend to help them with school. And then Nick would come and surprise me sometimes, to try to help me, support me as much as he could during the pandemic and while I was going through chemo. And then I also had the help of my mother-in-law and my sister-in-law, who were very helpful with when the kids wanted to come home and have a break, or when they did finally come back here. And then I was kind of going back and forth between here and San Antonio. So, I've learned so many things along this journey with breast cancer. I've taught other women. There's still much more to learn. There's so many more people to help. And I just want to be a vessel to be able to support and help as many women and men and people who support people that are going through that through this YouTube channel and my social media outlets. So, I'm excited. I've had some people that are super excited about my closet confessions of a quarantine vixen. Yes, I was in the closet during quarantine, having Zoom happy hours and things like that. And so there's so many different things that we're going to do with this YouTube channel. But I just wanted to come on and do an introductory with you guys and kind of let you know what you have to look forward to. You'll be learning about hair products and things that are good for hair loss. You'll be learning about good substitutes to use when you're changing your eating, when you're trying to eat healthier, especially when you're going through cancer, or when you're just trying to be healthy as a person who's trying to have a healthy body, or who's trying to get in shape, or who's trying to be athletic. You'll learn about, there'll be some fun things where it's just the life of a coach's wife and a family who's very, very busy and very athletic. You'll learn that from my youngest child all the way up to grandfather. We all played sports, whether that was basketball, track, or football. It's there and we're competitive. So I just want to thank you guys so much for being here. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, because baby, you're not going to want to miss all this goodness we're going to have on this channel. And yes, I'm so excited. We're going to have a good old time. So I hope you guys have an amazing day. I hope you have a blessed day. Be safe. Love one another. Share.